Hello, folks. This is March 27th, Sunday, and futures would open in an hour or so, I guess. So this is where, we had gotten the low somewhere around, this was the low 41,001, and it tested the low. And after that, since it was pretty oversold here across the board, I had tweeted about this just a few days before the rally, just before the FOMC, that maybe Powell would give us the retest of the high towards 43.26 area, but it far exceeded that, right? We are approximately 200 points ahead of that 43.26, down to 45. I think this closed around 45.36. So here we are at this intersection of blue and yellow box. Very important area. This is based on the breakdown. This is the breakdown, right? From here we broke down from the all-time high. Here it tested, it went back up, and from here it break down. So we are entering this very important area where the decision of whether this is just a retrace of the high or this was the bottom can be made. And the decision may not come as easy in this area because price needs to decide what it wants to do, and it may take a little bit of time, or maybe not, but we will see. So what we need to look at to make some decision is, number one, on a monthly basis, it has come to an important area, 45.23 to 45.57. And this would be some excess which had made around 45.80, I guess, 45.80, 86. So this, let me put this eclipse. This area would be something where it would need to decide, after testing, retesting, whether, what would be the decision, whether it would be a retest of the, meaning this was just the retest of the high and another low is still pending, or after settling some point, it may still wants to go higher, and, this is a done business for now. Now, what we need to look as this is a straight up line. Price has moved up without pulling back decently. So in this area, what we need to see is price comes down, holds this region, this line here, at least as support or as demand, and then tries to go back and retest this area back or a little bit more higher. Because in my personal observation, this we have come down to 618. So price stopped exactly around 618 area, 48.39. And but generally speaking, ES tests much higher than 618 generally. And why would it be different this time? It shouldn't be, right? But considering this has gone up too high and things are a little bit overbought, this area can flip it back down a little bit towards, early 4,500 to early 4,400. 44.89 is a price cycle. 44.23 was the turning point in going up a little bit, with 43.75 area being another an important turn up from this area. See here, this cluster. So ideally we want price to come down and test this zone so that it can find some good support and demand. It can even find some support here, but as of now, this would just be to release pressure and then go back and test this area again, do this excess of 45, 80, 86. 86 was the high, 86. Yes, 86 was the high, this area, or even go up further. There's a gap here, 46.52 on XPX, right? So on XPX, it would go and fill that gap up, and then we can see whether filling up that gap is enough for this upside movement and it wants to smack back down. Okay, ideally the upside testing would be until 47.25 and it would all be okay, and that would still be considered as the retest of the high. Okay, so XPX, see, XPX also stopped right at the resistance here on Friday, and then ideally we want it to pull back a little bit lower, but now remember this is a quarter end and there are 3 days left for the month to close, right? So probably funds taking some profits, booking and all that can, cause the price to pull back lower, maybe later part of the week or midweek or somewhere there. And we definitely want a shallow retracement would be here, somewhere between 44, 67, 68, 70, because there's your area 200 days also lying. So the shallow retrace would be to just test the 200-day and then move back up. A deeper retrace would be to come towards early 4400s, 4423 to 4375 area, and this area of this W, and then try to launch back up. That can also happen. And I was trying to show something. Okay. So this monthly, so this is why what we are saying, this is now coming towards the high of this candle and a little bit more is remaining. So, and it's trying to enter the blue box, and this is currently at the high of these two previous candles. So that's why we want to see whether how price behaves in this zone to warrant a little bit move down, move more deeper down, or test a little bit further high. And then any test further high without pulling back will keep adding more pressure, and later on it just pukes. So ideally we don't want that. We want a little bit of pullback, then go up, pull back, go up, so that some pressure is constantly released. Otherwise we'll keep getting the flash crash. Now one of the important things which I wanted to show was the extra A, this Apple. See this, from this low of 150 all the way to 175, that is 25 points move without, and this is almost a straight, I mean you can't get a straighter line on a price movement. So this is the most straightest line. Earlier also it went up above a little bit on this line and then puked back. So straight line, puke back, say straight line, pukes back, straight line, pukes back, straight line, pukes back. Now here again it can have a cushion of few more dollars, few more points, and then the least is to test back this line, and the deeper would be to test this high around 169, 165. That should satisfy a little bit of overboughtness, some sideways movement to release some pressure, and the indices and Apple and some other stocks can do that, and still again continue up higher. The only thing I was looking for was 183 and 1 cent to reset the price cycle. So if that happens, then at least we know that the future price of Apple to 360 is there, and it will see it sometime in future. But a little relaxation of this would be warranted. So that's why be a little bit cautious next week. See how the price movement is. If you are net long, then get some simple hedges at least to protect some pullback right away. Tesla also, see, straight move up from the low here, and it's right at 1025 was the high, or rather 41 was the high, and now it's hovering there on the sideways. Any test back towards 961, 931 and 901 here would be considered good, because some pressure. Where is that? Where did it go? Oh, here. So this would be nice, but this line could be as shallow as possible till here or here, and then it can go back to test up. Now how far this line would be, we will have to see based on where and how the indices relax. Okay, so this does look like maybe the weekly charts have a better look of the flag breaking out, or rather here. So if this was a bull flag or some consolidation coming back and retesting into the high, and then this going back up, and everything else is good around the world and in the world of stock markets, then there is still a good possibility of chance of Tesla moving up above 1100 here and testing back into the all-time high, previous all times, and then probably moving up towards that 1500 as well. Okay. But something to keep an eye on. Amazon also, we had said, I had earlier in my previous video, I had given that, what Amazon would do something like this, and it is here, and it is right at this consolidation here, and it's consolidating right under its 200-day above this orange line. Now, when the indices are retesting the low, it may come back and test somewhere here. It's possible, or it may just hang around here and then push it back up. So far, there is no indication that there is more bearishness, but the overboughtness, the price under pressure, plus all of these arriving, like your NQ as well. NQ, see, NQ is also at it stopped at this resistance, and it has something to go over 15,000 to over a little bit of 15,129 was the number. So this area here is still again some inflection zone. So all the important things like the indices and the Apple and Tesla and Amazon and other stuff, they're all coming at their resistance around the same time. So when everything happens around the same time, in a matter of few days, you get a reaction. Generally, that reaction is to pull back some. So that's the reason, be a little bit cautious. If you have some net longs, keep an eye on that one, and have some simple hedges in place, some puts or something, if you can, to just get some downward protection if this happens suddenly and stuff like that. And I think this month we will again have job numbers and CPI data, so some volatility can be warranted. And plus we'll be having the earnings seasons coming up. So, it's very important that this pressure resolves before that. Otherwise, if it continues up without a decent pressure release, let's put it that way, then the earnings of the bigger fangs can either be to sideways to down. Okay, because again, the word generally which is floating around is that the CPI number this time can be higher, which would mean higher inflation and companies guiding down and all that. So that particular path can sit well, meaning you continuously move up without releasing the pressure, and then around earnings time, they are so overbought or so much under pressure, and price has reached a certain resistance point, that the natural way would be either to resolve down or don't resolve up, because how much up you can go without releasing the pressure. So that is something to keep an eye on. So from here onwards till here, as we are arriving in this zone, it wouldn't hurt to be a little bit more smart to pay attention to price. Okay, so that was it for now. I just want to do a short video just to give an idea of where we are and what to look for, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so happy trading, and be safe out there.